Minus 42.
Well, hello guys. Today is
Recorder HQ. No. Calendar. Saturday, 06 July.
Saturday the 6th of July.
11:29
and
a.m.
it's 11:29 a.m.
Page 1 of 2. Adjustable. Amazon Alexa. Recorder HQ. Recorder HQ. Pause. Button. Stop. Button. Stop.
I spent all night last night cancelling my Optus account because they were too busy trying to convince me to keep it, and I told them to fuck off, basically. And then I had to ditch Spotify and Netflix, and Spotify tried to tell me that I had to do an email, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing an email. I want to click on the cancelling option and get rid of it. I don't need to do a fucking email. So I went into the Reddit forums and found a link, and it was a cancelling option for Spotify, and I thought, oh yay, I get to do it. I did that, and then I reviewed my Amazon products, and I decided, not to sound really nasty, but I've decided that wet wipes, for wiping your hands and face, and toilet paper, and I can't decide yet, but soon to be possibly baby wipes. I will have to make that decision later, whether I can buy them on Amazon or at Aldi or wherever, because I don't really have the time to stress out if I get sick or any other health concerns and then have to go to the shops or get someone to take me to the shops, because everyone has a schedule and I want my life to be the way I like it. So if I get Amazon deliveries for certain products and it gets auto-delivered, that's something it just auto-pays from my account and I never have to worry about it. And there is a skipping option. So if I think, okay, I've already got too many packs of this, I can skip it this time and go, okay, it's a couple of months down the road, but if I need it before then, I can quickly do a once-off order. But if I don't need it before then, I can just leave it for the next auto-subscription and auto-delivery. Auto-subscription auto-pays and delivers without me having to remind it, and it will give me a notification to give me the chance to skip the delivery or accept it. And I don't even have to accept anything. If it gives me a notification and I don't skip the delivery, it will just think that I'm paying for it and it will just work. So if I have no time for going into the shops, then I'll just have boxes delivered to my door and I'll check my notifications to make sure it's the correct box and I haven't been given the wrong order. And, if anything goes wrong, I just ring Amazon and complain. But I've got toilet paper and wet wipes because they're my most important, I can't go without them kind of thing. And eventually I have to make that decision with baby wipes as well, but that will happen. Because if I go to the shops all the time and then go, actually, I need to sit around for the week because I'm exhausted or sick, that is a week of doing not much. And then I put my life on hold. I think it's a good idea to have auto delivery set up. So that way I've got the product at my door if I cannot go out. Yeah, so if I physically cannot go out for whatever reason, I'll have my products at the door. So I reviewed my Amazon subscriptions and I sorted them out. I just set up a subscription and then I cancelled my current order of toilet paper because I sort of don't need it for a couple of weeks. In the meantime, I can just get a little packet of toilet paper. It won't be as good as the one that I'm very fussy about toilet paper. But at least it'll last in the meantime. And I have Amazon Prime, so it doesn't take up a lot of money. And I get free deliveries on most items. So yeah. Yeah, I have got my life in order, and now I have enough money for groceries each week and my gym membership each fortnight. That's all I care about. I don't care about everything else. And I can read my Kindle books, and I can read my Braille books from Braille House. I mean, I have a routine that works. It doesn't work for NDIS providers. NDIS providers don't want me staying home. I'm like, if you want me to get sick because of doing too much in a week, getting exhausted, getting sick, getting painful, that's not on me. It's on the NDIS provider to get into deep shit for making me do stuff that isn't safe or healthy. I think walking to the shops each day, as well as gym fitness program, is good enough. I'm not very happy that NDIS providers will not accept once-off outings. So if I say, all right, this Saturday I want to go out for 8 hours, and then I say, no, I'm not doing it each Saturday, the NDIS provider basically says, well, find someone else to do it, because I want to take you out every Saturday, not just whenever you want to go out on Saturday. And it's like, my life does not work in a rigid, structured NDIS provider timetable. It works based on my health needs and the way I'm feeling, what I'm up to doing at the time. Just because the NDIS wants to schedule in certain things every week doesn't mean I can actually do that activity every week. It does not work. Some activities do work, but then support workers don't want to help me commit to... Most support providers do not like commitment more than twice a week. So if I say I'm going to the gym 5 times a week, the support workers will commit to 1 or 2 times each week, but they won't commit to 5 days of gym activity. Like if you say I want to go to the gym from 9 until 10 a.m. 5 times this week, they won't do it. They'll do it once or twice, but not 5 times. And I'm like, why is the NDIS all about spouting off choice and control rhetoric, and yet when I have the choice and control, people go, oh no, your choice and control is too flexible or it's too rigid. It's like, it isn't. I'm either given choice and control or I'm not given choice and control. Which one is it? Do I have choice and control or do I not have choice and control? To me, it sounds like NDIS support workers just want to be lazy. And I put in all the hard work to live my life, and people just say, no, I'm going to be lazy. I'm not helping you because you put in too much hard work. It's like, who are they to decide how much hard work is too much hard work? If the doctor and gym instructor are telling me I'm doing too much, they're health professionals, so they are just telling me based on safety concerns that they're seeing. They're not saying it because they want to be lazy. But when an NDIS support provider says that, it's like they're not looking at safety concerns. They're just bloody looking at, oh, I just want to be lazy. I don't like your commitments. Because then some people go to the other extreme where they say, oh, let's do this, let's do that. It's like, yes, but then I'm doing too much at once. I'm doing too much. Like, I thought the NDIS was about the participant making all the decisions. It's about the support providers helping participants make all the decisions. The support provider is involved in the decision making, but the participant actually makes the final decision. That's what I thought the NDIS was all about. But apparently not. Apparently support providers think that getting involved in a decision-making process means making up the decision, which that's not the case at all. But I don't know why support providers can't accept that I'm limited to what I can do without hurting myself. They just don't want to accept it. And they also don't accept that my commitments are not as... There are a couple of structured commitments, but other commitments are more spontaneous, like I rarely ever go out, but maybe one time on the weekend I do want to go out. And also I've noticed most support providers expect me to spend money. And I'm like, what if I just want to do window shopping? What if I just want to do window shopping? I can't understand why I cannot just do window shopping. You know, it shouldn't be that hard to do fucking window shopping and then go, okay, I've got $20, I'll spend that today, and I've got $600, I'll spend that today, or I've got $600, I need to save it, I'll just spend 10 or 15 bucks or 30 bucks, I'll just save the other $500. Like, what is wrong with people? Why can't they just let me spend my money or not spend my money? It honestly can't be that fucking difficult, to be honest. It really can't be. It just isn't right. I just don't understand. I really can't figure it out. And my other problem is, I won't name anybody because I'm sure people can figure out who they are. It's definitely not someone who's subscribed to me now, so if you're listening, don't take it the wrong way. But I hate it when people spout off bullshit at me about how I'm not good at saving money and I need to learn to save up my money more, right? But they'll be the first people to complain when I do save money and I say, sorry, I can't spend it today. And then they go, well, you need to buy food, or, oh, we're at Kmart, you could buy this and you could buy that. It's like, well, no, I can't afford it. So don't tell me to save up my money and then tell me, oh, you can afford all this stuff. Like, I have to save up my money and I can afford nothing. Or I can buy a few things, but I can't save up my money properly. There's no other option. I'm on a fucking pension. I don't have other options for my pension. That is how life is. It isn't going to change anytime soon, and people need to either deal with it or piss off. Like I said to my subscribers, don't take me the wrong way. But I wish people would stop fucking judging me based on my lifestyle choices and my limited pension, my limited income. The NDIS is not part of my income, so they aren't going to pay, the NDIS isn't going to pay for all of this stuff that I want. That's not what the NDIS is for. They've even gotten really strict on health and well-being in plan-managed and self-managed plans. Health and well-being doesn't include gardening because gardening is not disability related. And exercising is not either. Physiotherapy is disability related, but going to the gym is not disability related. So if I'm going to the gym and I'm getting personal trainer lessons, that's not physio. Physio is different from personal training. Like, people just don't understand that. They don't get it. The personal trainer can teach physio exercises too, but because they're not a physiotherapist, they can't be covered under the NDIS. Doesn't matter how much physio they know of, and they've probably got qualifications as a physio, but that doesn't mean they're an actual physio. They have physiotherapy qualifications, but because they're working as a personal trainer and not a physio, the NDIS isn't going to cover them full stop. I have to see an actual physio who is just doing physio. They're not doing personal training, they're just doing physio. And a personal trainer is separate from the physio. Yeah, that's what people do not understand. And it's not about asking the NDIS. Asking the NDIS for something that is not covered isn't going to make them change their mind. It's like asking for a bank to loan you money for groceries. They're not going to do it because you ask them nicely. They're just going to say, no, groceries are not part of a bank loan. You have to put it under a certain category, and then you have to actually pay for that category of the loan. You can't just use it for whatever. Like, people just don't get economics. They do not get financial difficulties. They do not get that the Centrelink pension is rigid. They do not understand that there are literally no other options. And it's not about depression. It's not about being blinded by mental illness. Mental illness is not the cause of, oh, there's no other options for doing this or doing that, so I must be psychotic because I just don't know that there are other options. Well, the fact is, yes, I do know there are no other options. I do have limitations. They can't be fixed with psychotherapy or counselling. There are no feelings. I have feelings all the time, but they change. That's a scientific fact. So how I feel has no relevance to what actually goes on in the real world because it's not going to change anything. I have limitations that are not going to change with emotional or mental health or medical support. They're not going to change. And the pharmacist made sure that I wasn't being peer pressured into changing my lifestyle choices either. And I went, well, besides going to the gym and occasionally getting protein shakes, I'm not changing anything. And I won't even need protein shakes anymore because I eat trail mix and chippies and just all sorts of shit. The doctor isn't bothered by having a few chips or a couple of chocolates. And the next person who says you're on a diet, you're not meant to be eating that, I'm going to hit them in the face, because I'm on a diet basically means I can't eat the chocolates every day. I can't eat a packet of chips each day. I can't eat Red Rooster very often. I can't eat ice cream each night after dinner. I can't have takeaway food every day unless it's a specialist Asian health food type store where the chef only cooks food that's, they obviously put oil in it, which isn't good, but if their cooking is specialising in herbs and healthy options, so they're not deep frying, you can choose from deep fried or wok style stuff, so then you make your choices based on your health options. I could probably have wok style rice dishes, noodle dishes, maybe once a week or something. But being on a diet doesn't mean extremes like radicalising. I'm radicalised and I can't have chocolate. Well, that's just radicalism. and I'm not on a radicalised diet. A radicalised diet is, I've been vomiting every day for months and I have to eat mashed food for the next 2 weeks because I can't eat solid food because I'm spewing. Now, it's radicalised because if I'm really sick, they have to radicalise dietary needs, otherwise my stomach won't get better. I had to do that 2 years ago because I kept getting sick all the time, and I had to make baby food because I don't like store-bought, I don't like egg custard and all the other crappy baby food. It's no good for you. It's full of sugar. It's not very nutritious. It's not good. There are special chemist shakes for stomach conditions, but the doctor wouldn't prescribe them because I was sick for 2 weeks, not 2 months. So if you're wanting a prescription for a stomach condition, you have to be sick for more than 3 weeks, I believe. So if you've been sick for 2 weeks and you're making fresh baby food from veggies and meat that you can blend up, you can grind everything, or cook your mince and grind up vegetables to put into the mince. If you've been doing that for 2 weeks and then you go back to the doctor and you tell them, look, I can't eat solid food, I have to grind it all up, and then they see what you like each day with eating and drinking, they'll eventually prescribe a special formula that you have to keep getting at the chemist each week. They can do that, but they only give you radical dietary requirements if you're like really sick as. So I couldn't get a diet prescription from the doctor, so for 2 weeks I had to, mash up my food, and eventually I went back onto solid food, so I really didn't meet the requirements for a diet prescription where you go to the GP and they see that you're in poor health and you can't eat solid food, so they give you a special dietary prescription for special blended formulas. And then you got to get heaps of blood tests and that done. So basically, unless you're like super sick and possibly collapsing, they're not going to give you a radical type of dietary thing. It just changes enough that you're eating a lot more fruit and veggies and packets of mixed nuts and trail mix, and if you're going to eat a packet of chips, don't eat it more than once a week. And if you're going to have takeaway food, have it once a fortnight. If you're going to have really sugary food, have it once a month, have cake and biscuits. If you're going to have it for morning tea, just have it every month. If you're in a position where you need more sugar in your bloodstream, you might have to have 1 or 2 cookies every couple of days. So you have your main diet, and then if you are not getting enough sugar in your bloodstream and it's too low all the time, you got to have some sweet treats every 2 or 3 days, just so your blood sugar doesn't get too low. And boiled lollies, have 1 or 2 boiled lollies every now and again without eating too many of them. So, when people say, oh, you're on a diet, it's like, yes, but I'm not on a radicalised extreme dieting trend. I'm not on an extreme diet. I would have to be really sick to be on an extreme diet. Like when I got that stomach illness a couple of years ago, I couldn't even eat packets of chips. I couldn't eat boiled lollies. I couldn't eat chocolate. I couldn't eat 2-minute noodles. I couldn't eat anything. And then when I got back into eating pasta, I felt crappy for a while until I recovered. When you first introduce yourself to pasta and noodles, you're like, ugh, yuck. But you get over that intolerance after a while. But I had to go back to eating eggs and bacon and all that too. Like, oh, yuck. And now it's fine. But when you've got a really bad stomach condition that you have to recover from, it takes ages. So extreme dieting is more than just saying, oh, well, I'm eating a packet of chips, you know. It's not that simple to say I'm on a restricted diet. My diet isn't exactly a fully extreme, it's not a fully restricted diet. I obviously can only eat lollies sometimes. Just got to take my clothes to my room because I've got heaps of them in the clothes dryer, and then I've got to put some towels in the clothes dryer. So yeah, when people think of a restricted diet, they literally think, oh, you're not meant to touch those chips, you're not meant to touch that cake. Well, there's a big difference between you can't touch the cake ever again because your spleen and your liver's fucked, versus I'm just a bit fat and overweight, so if I have a packet of chips now, I can't have a packet of chips for another 2 weeks. So I bought a little packet of chips. Well, it's a big packet, but it's not a super massive packet of chips. Now, if I eat it today, I can't have it again for another 14 days or longer. Like, I can't eat a packet of chips today and then go to the shops and get a soft drink and then go to the, sushi place and takeout place. Like, I can't do that. It's too much. I literally can't just go and eat all that food and stuff it all in and expect to lose weight. It's not going to work. So when people are saying, oh, you're eating a packet of chips, I thought you were on a diet. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't see me not eating chips for 3 months. So then I eat the packet of chips and it will be another 3 months before I have another packet of chips. So I hardly ever eat chips, and people jump at me and go, you're not meant to be eating those chips. It's like, yes, because I only eat those chips like 3 or 4 times a fucking year. Calm yourself down, chill out, pedal. Chill your farm. Calm the farm, pedal. Like I have a handful of lollies and it's the end of the world because lollies are full of sugar and I'm going to get diabetes and I'm going to get sick. Well, do you know how many weeks ago it was since I've had a handful of lollies? Oh, about 6 months ago maybe. So if I have a handful of lollies today, the rest of them are going to be sitting in the fridge for another, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks before I have another handful of lollies. Like, I get lollies out of the fridge and then I put them back in the fridge and I forget about them for months. I have a packet of chocolate peanuts they've been sitting there for about 5 months, and I just have a few of them here and there. So I have one handful every 3 or 4 weeks. Oh no, about every 2 or 3 weeks I'll have a few peanuts. I get them off Amazon. That one packet of peanuts lasts me about 6 months. If I'm losing control, it'll last about 12 weeks. So one packet of peanuts. At worst, it'll take me, if I'm in a bad mood and I'm eating chocolate when I'm not meant to eat it every day, but let's just say I do, when I'm not well or just like really crappy and I'm like, oh fuck it, I'm sick, I'm probably going to get diabetes, but I'm in one of my stupid moods, I don't care.
Swordy quest. Now. Event is active. XP weekend. Get double XP for everything you do.
I know that sorty quest. I'm going to play games in a minute.
Stop. Stop. Button. Stop. Stop. Pause. Minus 37.1. Minus 37.16094 dB. Speech off.
If I'm in one of those moods where, you know, I'm not meant to have junk food often, but fuck it, I'm in a crappy mood, or I've got a bad cold, or I've had to have an antihistamine because I'm sneezing and coughing and bleh, you know. Oh, screw it. What does it hurt me to have some cake and a bit of biscuit and a few lollies? Those peanuts, chocolate peanuts, are going to last me at least 3 weeks in the fridge. Because I know if I just go all crazy about eating junk food all the time, I end up feeling really shit after a while. Like, just having one handful of chips and biscuits isn't going to do anything. But if I do it every day and I go, well, I'm depressed and I don't give a shit about life at the moment, so then I just keep eating junk food all the time, I feel a bit like, you know, my teeth get a bit sensitive and feel a bit yucky. You know, like I'm eating too much crappy food. And then I'll eat fruit and veggies and salad and that, but it's like, oh, I need to ditch the fucking junk food. I need to just ditch it. So, yeah, I'm more careful where I just have a little bit of junk food here and there, hardly ever touch it. And then I just tell people there's a difference between extreme dieting versus, if I touch the packet of chips today, I won't touch another packet of chips for like, I don't know, 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something. It's just how it is. Okay, try that. So yeah, if I know that I'm eating trail mix, I can have it. It's a bit sweet, but I can have it every day or two, you know. I can have some trail mix every day or two. Yeah. This is trail mix actually. I'm going to have some. So yeah, when people talk shit at me and say, oh, you're on a diet, I'm like, well, I'll give you I'm on a diet in a minute. It's not as if I'm eating chips every day of the week. I'm not eating fucking chocolate each day either. I just realised I haven't eaten all day. Shit. Honestly, I don't get hungry. I really don't get hungry very much. So I've had coffee and I've had trail mix to eat today. Like, I'm not that hungry. I don't know why people think I have to be hungry all the time. And unless they're a doctor or a gym instructor, they've really got no say in what I can and can't eat, because they don't have the medical knowledge to know that my routine is safe or not safe. And sorry to say, but in this day and age of occupational health and safety and work qualifications, just because you think you know what you're talking about doesn't mean that you're actually qualified to have an opinion. You can have the most knowledgeable opinions, but if you're not qualified for the job, it doesn't count. Like, you can take advice from a family member or a friend, and they've probably got experience to give you that advice, but unless they're actually qualified, the advice doesn't actually count. I guess if someone tells me something and I go to the doctor and they go, well, what they said was actually right, I can say, well, okay. I just wanted to make sure from the doctor, because the person who told me is pretty knowledgeable and they're not qualified to give me medical advice, but they referred me to this doctor for this reason, and that's scary that they've got their opinions correct and the doctor has just confirmed it, because, you know, even though the person's opinion doesn't count legally, they might be a really trusted friend and they've probably saved my life, and, you know, they're not qualified to give me advice, but they know to tell me to go to the doctor, so that's good. But every time someone says, oh, you shouldn't be touching those chips, you're on a diet, I immediately take that to the doctors and just say, well, I was told not to eat chips by someone who's not even a doctor, and I rarely hardly ever eat chips. And then the doctors are like, well, they're not worried about someone who only eats chips once in a while. I'm like, well, try telling these fanatics who tell me to keep my radicalised, restricted diet. I don't have a radicalised diet. If I want to go on a radical diet, I have to see the pharmacist every 2 days so they can monitor my radical diet until I get better. Going on a radicalised diet is really not easy, and you have to have medical supervision to do it. You can't just go on an extreme diet. Like, I'm not going to let someone tell me, oh, you're not hungry, you need to see the doctor to tell them that you're not hungry. So, no, I don't need a doctor to tell me when I am and when I'm not hungry. My doctor wants me to see her. If I haven't been eating for 3 days, I've got to see a doctor. But if I'm not hungry and I'm having bites to eat here and there, and I'm eating each day even though it's not much, I'm still eating something. If it gets worse, I go to the doctor. If it gets better, I just don't bother. I told the Chinese herbal doctors a couple of weeks ago that I don't take herbal tablets because of all the stuff that's in Asian food, and when I cook scrambled eggs and that, I like to add spices like pepper and turmeric and all that to it. And they said, well, all right, if you don't want tablets, we'll sort out alternative options that you just add to your food and eat it. And they reckon there's plenty of herbal stuff at the pharmacy. You just mix it in water or eat it. But then the pharmacy people are concerned about me eating too many herbal products, so they kind of just keep me with herbal tea and the occasional protein shake, and I've had to go from, I've got one more protein shake left, but when I've had that on Monday morning, I have to stick with like trail mixes and mixed nuts and all that, because then I won't have to keep using protein shakes. Yum! My next stupid argument with people is the tubs of yogurt I love to buy from Aldi. Now, I ate half a tub of yogurt yesterday. I'm eating the rest of it today, but I can't eat it all at once, so I just eat what I can, put the tub back in the fridge and eat the rest of it the next day. And then it will be another, I don't know, I'll get another tub of yogurt on Monday and I may not even eat it until Wednesday or Thursday. So, I don't understand what people are doing with their extremist ideas on dieting, and it pisses me off. And I'm being extremist by only eating when I'm hungry. I don't need to eat when I'm feeling not hungry and I don't feel up to eating. I don't actually have to eat. I was told by a personal trainer at my gym that I do have to have something. So now I'm like, all right, it could be a bite or mouthful or something. But he obviously doesn't believe I need to get fussy and I have to get full and I have to eat until I'm full in, my stomach feels like I'm full. He doesn't want that. He just wants me to go, well, I haven't eaten for 6 hours and I'm not hungry. I know I have to have something. I'll just have a peanut butter sandwich, or I'll have a few mouthfuls of yogurt, or I'll have one boiled egg, or I'll have 2 or 3 handfuls of trail mix. Like, I don't need to eat a lot of actual, like a big substantial portion of food. He just wants me to regularly swallow something just so that my stomach goes, okay, I'm not hungry, but I know I have to eat. Otherwise you get medical problems if you don't eat properly. You end up with health issues in your digestive system. And then you end up with bad toilet habits and you get systemic problems caused by not eating and not using the loo very often. You end up with other systemic issues that they start out as digestive problems from not eating, but they turn into, like, the rest of your body develops problems too. So if you're not hungry and you have 2 or 3 mouthfuls of food, you've still eaten. I don't know why people think, oh, yep, if you've eaten a plate of food and you've left half it behind, you haven't eaten enough. It's like, well, you have eaten enough, you just can't eat a whole plate of food at the moment. Like, you know, people need to start accepting that the serving of food is not a hard and fast rule for the human body to take in. Like, what is a serving of food? Is it half a cup of mashed potato, or is it 1 cup of mashed potato? Like, what is exactly a serving of food? Like, when I eat at the hospital, I reckon that their food portions are too small. I don't think they give big enough portions, so then you get really hungry and very skinny. But they have to give everyone low sugar diets and all that to make sure that no one gets really sick from eating. I've been given spicy food when I couldn't eat it, you know. When I've been in the hospital, I've been given the wrong foods for my situation. Too much sweet food or too much spicy food. You know, they really don't look at your best dietary interests with food unless you actually write on the paperwork something like, I can't eat chili, or I can't eat this, or I can't. If you just say no dietary requirements and then you've been vomiting all day and it's on the paperwork, it says no dietary requirements, they could end up bringing you in bacon and eggs when you can't eat it. So I sort of learnt the hard way. If I'm going to the hospital for 3 days, I do have to put in some dietary requirements, like can't eat bacon and eggs, or I can't do this, or I can't do. Because if I don't do that, they're just going to say, oh, well, you've been spewing all day, but you've got no legal requirements to fix your diet. It's not in your paperwork, you're fine. Like, well, it doesn't mean anything. So if you're in the hospital, you've got to be strict on your paperwork, otherwise they're not strict enough with your health care. It has to show up on paperwork or it doesn't mean anything. So, the fact that I've eaten trail mix and yogurt today means I'm eating. I don't understand why people get worried about me not eating enough food. I'm actually more concerned about my gym instructor and my GP, because they're like, you are eating, but you're not eating at regular enough intervals, meaning I'm not supposed to be skipping meals. And I said, well, if I'm not hungry, I kind of don't want to eat, so then I automatically skip a meal. If I'm not hungry enough to eat, I'll wait till dinner. But apparently I'm not even meant to do that. So my compromise is eat when I can, and if I don't want dinner, just have something little, like have a couple of oranges or have some cereal with milk, or do something. Have something easy. But then my doctor and GP are not going, hey, you've just created a big explosion by eating 2 lollies, blow up, bang, you've fucked up your diet. They're not doing that. They're more concerned about if I'm eating less regularly than usual, like say I'm only eating 2 meals a day and I'm meant to eat 5 meals a day. They're concerned about me eating food that's not nutritious enough, like I'm eating, if I'm eating yogurt and trail mix, then I've also got to have orange, and I've also got to have a bit of potato and a bit of just some veggies and meat, and it's not in any particular order. I just have to have something decent. And I don't have to have it all at one, like in one session. I can have sausage now, I can have something else in an hour. I don't have to eat it all in one session unless I'm already hungry enough and I can say, right, I'm going to have 2 sausages and scrambled eggs and baked beans. I can do that. But if I just want a bit of sausage, I can have sausage. Like, there's no hard and fast rule how to eat. It's just that the food has to be nutritional enough to go, oh, yep, I'm eating every 2 or 3 hours, that's fine, it's working. But if I'm just eating, like, say, ice cream and yogurt and biscuits and lollies, that's got very little nutritional value. It's poor nutrition and it's not going to work out eating that sort of stuff all day. So if I want to have biscuits and cake with my yogurt, I have to pair that with banana and orange or apple, like pick and choose fruit options. And then later I have to have, I don't know, some kind of salad with bloody sausage, chicken, pork, something. I have to have some kind of protein, or a boiled egg and cheese sandwich, or something to go with sugar and cake and biscuit, cake and biscuits. It can't just be crappy food and an orange. Like, you need orange, you need another type of fruit, and then you need 3 types of veggies. I don't even know the nutrition pyramid. Like, I failed that test last week at the gym. I was asked about it and I went, yeah, I know about fruit and veggies. It's called veganism. I don't know the proper... I know about veganism, but I don't know the proper full dietary intake of the nutrition pyramid. But I do know fruit and veggies, and I failed that. I failed that test. So every time I have the personal trainer now, we have to go over the food pyramid, because I think I'm eating quite well, but if I tell a doctor and I tell a personal trainer, they reckon I'm not eating well enough. Their standards for my diet are higher. See, I have a dietary standard that is not good enough for my doctor and personal trainer. So I'm not very nutritionally balanced at the moment. I'm getting better each week. I'm improving my dietary nutrition pyramid. As I'm eating, it's getting better. It's not magic, a magic overnight fix, but I'm getting better. So when anyone jumps on me and says, oh, you just had chocolate, I'm like, hey you, mind your biz. Dieting is not an overnight experience. It's a work in progress it's a lifestyle choice and a work in progress. It's not just a passing fad, it's a lifestyle commitment. And dieting is not about, if you break the rules and spend this Saturday and Sunday having chocolates and biscuits and cake all day, you have to just start your diet from square one, which that's not what you have to do. You have to accept that you've had 2 days of eating shitty food. Now, for the next 3 months, you need to focus on not eating that shitty food. So if you decide in the next 3 months, oh fuck, I need some biscuits, have 2 biscuits, but don't eat the cake, the ice cream, the chips. Just have, I don't know, you start back on your decent food on Monday. Just have 2 biscuits and wait till next Monday. The next Monday you have 2 biscuits. And then after 4 weeks you go, right, I've had biscuits every Monday. Next Monday I'm going to have, I don't know, 1 handful of lollies, but you only have a handful of lollies every Monday. You don't have it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You have each Monday. And I'm going to have greasy, deep-fried, crappy food from KFC. Pick a day. All right, Saturday. I'm going to have it this weekend, and I'm going to wait for 6 weeks. In 6 weeks' time, I'll have KFC on Saturday. I'll have it every 6 weeks. I will have it just on a Saturday. I won't have it on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. I'll just pick Saturday. And then if you relapse and go, right, I've spent 3 days eating chips and soft drink and deep fried food and oily, shitty food and, oh, God, I feel crappy. You just go, right, I've got to start this, not from square one, but you sort of go, right, go back to your decent food and say, every Sunday, I don't know, every 3 months, I'm just going to have crappy food on Sunday. But you don't pick a different day of the week. You just keep it on a Sunday every 3 months. You sort of do it like that. And then when people jump at me and say, oh, fuck, why are you eating KFC? You're only meant to be having a sandwich, or, you know, if you're going to have chicken, have it from Red Rooster or Grill. Don't get it from KFC. I'm like, mate, I only get this fucking shit every 6 months. Not every day or every 3 weeks. I get it every fucking 6 months. So yeah, I don't like it when people jump on me over something they think I'm doing wrong, when the last time I did that was fucking years ago, you know? Like, doctors aren't concerned that you're going to sit down at Macca's and have 2 Big Mac meals because you're starving to death today. They're concerned that you'll have 2 Big Mac meals today, then tomorrow you'll have KFC for breakfast, then the next day you'll have Hungry Jack's for lunch, then the next night you'll have Chinese for dinner. They're concerned about that. But if you have 2 Big Macs because you're starving to death and you've been vomiting for 3 days from a stomach illness and today you've just got to have junk food, do that, but then you won't do it again for ages, like years. So dieting is not as extreme as what people make it out to be, and it's also not as hard and fast as what people make it out to be either. I think people are too fussy and too pedantic about shit that they don't have to be pedantic about. And the reason my health providers are getting fussy now is because I set them a standard and I say, oh, this is how I eat and drink because I'm not hungry. And they're like, yeah, but you're not even hardly eating any veggies. I'm like, well, okay, fine. Even if it's trail mix and yogurt and orange, it's like I still have to include carrots and broccoli and peas and corn and stuff. So at some point today, I do have to take a frozen meal out of the freezer and microwave it and eat it. I have to at some point today. I can't not eat food. And then tonight for dinner, I'll just have toasted sandwiches. I don't reckon I'll buy the tins of soup though, because tins of soup have too much salt in them. Packets of cuppa soups have salt, but they're not as bad. So, I'll keep the Mexican chili baked beans because I like chili and spicy food and that. But I'll go through my cupboard and chuck out any tins that I can no longer keep. And clean up my food pantries a little bit. Chuck out stuff that isn't worth keeping. That's what I'll be doing. Yeah, I've eaten that yogurt and I've eaten some trail mix. I want to get some mixed, oh shit, I want to get some mixed salted peanuts. I mean, some mixed say it again. I want to get some mixed salted nuts. So they're all mixed nuts, cashews, walnuts, all that, but they're salted. So yeah, I'll do that. And
Speed minus 20. Call. Stop button.
yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get going and I'll be back soon with another recording.
Stop button.